Yeah, so we track two specific metrics that help us understand the start of attacks. One is initial access, which is how the attackers got in, and the other is root cause, which is why that worked. Root causes for the past 2 years have been led by compromised or stolen credentials, followed by exploiting vulnerabilities. Morgan, we've seen some high profile breaches this past year involving compromised credentials. I'm thinking about the Snowflake incident as well. There's some compromises of Atlassian cloud credentials. And it seems that a lot of that is driven by InfoStealers. How do all these breaches and by extension, all the stolen credentials floating around inform your team's activities?
Yeah, I think the sheer volume of credentials being harvested and traded through InfoStealer malware has created a very wide attack surface. Often we see threat actors actually choose which organization to target based on the compromised credentials that they have access to or that they're able to buy from cybercriminal forums. And even more than that, even months after, an initial infection, we can see the same credentials resurface in new attacks, sometimes completely disconnected from the original compromise. So the threat is multifaceted here. And for that reason, in MDR, we treat credential misuse as a primary threat vector. And as a result, we do things like monitor for suspicious authentications tied to InfoSealer logs. We try to track usage patterns against known abused services like VPNs or RDP. And we try to correlate login activity across customer environments. And this context really allows us to identify when legitimate credentials are being used maliciously, with the goal of doing that often long before ransomware or other types of malware payloads are being deployed. And I think the high profile breaches that you mentioned highlight just how porous the credential landscape has become. And that's why threat intel on InfoSealer campaigns, on dark web credential dumps, and cloud access patterns directly feeds into our detection and our hunting strategies. We're watching for not just how adversaries exploit that stolen access, but also where it came from as well.